Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Me, Miss Makeup. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make this lovely velvety fluffy scarf. As you can see, it looks so beautiful and actually really makes me feel so warm and nice. I love this velvet. It's really bulky and really nice, and the scarf is super chic and super amazing. So let's go into the video and show you how to make this knitting lovely fluffy velvet scarf. So this is a yarn that I'm gonna use in this video. As you can see, it's really velvety. It's really bulky one. I don't know how much bulky this one is, but this one is about like 700 gram or 750 100 gram. I really can't remember, but it's less than 1,100 gram, 1 kilo. It's so fluffy and so amazing. So in this video, I'm gonna use a 12mm knitting needle with this fluffy velvet yarn, and let's get into it. So this is my yarn. I'm gonna make a small tail because I'm not gonna make a lot of stitches. So yeah, I'm gonna cast on only 10 stitches. Of course you can increase if you like, but for me, I don't like a really wide scarf, so I'm gonna make only 10 stitches. So as you saw, I had 1 stitch done. Now it's time to cast on my next 9. So this is my tail and this is my connecting yarn. I'm gonna make my connecting yarn to the upper part of the screen in the tail lower, as you can see. And now I'm gonna take my hands, just go like this in between the 2 strands of my yarn and hold it really nicely with the rest of my fingers, and use my thumb and my index to separate the 2 strands from each other. So as you can see, I begin to have this kind of a heart-shaped thing. I have 4 strands. As you can see, it's really looks really like a heart. So I'm gonna go with my needle underneath the first strand on my thumb, just underneath it, and then I'm gonna go around the third one and take it with me and going in between 1 and 2, and we're done. Again, okay, I'm gonna go in between and hold it really tightly, and then go under, around, and in between, and pull. As you can see, I have 3 now. Again, I'm gonna go under, around, in between, and pull, and I have 4 stitches on my needle. I'm gonna continue doing this to reach in total 10 stitches on my needle. So I had kind of a long tail because it's only 10 stitches, but of course if you're gonna make more, you need to make your tail even longer. So I have my 10, and now it's time to do the first row. So let's go into it. So now I'm gonna take my second needle to help me knit my scarf. I'm just trying to free a little bit of yarn. Here we go. So I don't have any rows, just have the stitches on my needle. Now it's time to do the first row. So the first row will be a knit to make it easier. So I'm gonna take my tail away because it's kind of long, so it's not disturbing me, and have my connecting yarn on my hands, and just go like this. Take it the other needle and go just underneath this first stitch, and just like yarn over and or wrap the yarn around the needle and pull it, and here we go. I have my first one. And again, I'm gonna do it again, so you can see, yarn around and pull it, and yeah, the second one. So this is how you make a knit stitch on knitting. So I'm gonna continue doing that to the end of this row. So now first row is finished, and as you can see, it begins to be a little bit more fluffy or free to move around. Here, this is the wrong side or the purl side of the work, and this is the knitting side or the right side of my scarf. So the knitting side will be my right side. Now I'm gonna work on the purl side, which means that I'm gonna purl this time. So I'm gonna take my needle and just go from the other side. Knitting, I was going from like down up, now I'm going up down, like there's someone is knitting in front of me, right? So you are knitting on the wrong side now, or the purl side, so you're gonna do everything in reverse. So as you saw, I do this first one, always like the harder one. So yeah, I got it. So again, as you can see, going from like the back to front towards me, and wrap the yarn around it and just pull it back this time, and we're done. So this is how you do the purl, and I'm gonna continue purl the rest of the row until I reach the end. So here we go, I finished the second row, which was purl. So yeah, begin to feel more like nicer. As you can see, there is a little like a bulky thing, like rounded thing. This is the purl side, and here is the knitting side. You can see it's really smooth and really nice. This is the knitting side. So now what I'm gonna do, the third row will be knit. So as you work, when you have the knitting side facing you, you're gonna do a knit, and when you have the purl side facing you, you're gonna do a purl. So again, I'm gonna knit again, and as we did on the first row, I'm gonna go like this and wrap the yarn and pull it, and we're done, and continue doing this. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna knit this row, and the next row will be purl, and the next row will be knit. So one purl, one knit, one purl, one knit, until I reach the end of my scarf. And as you can see, begin to be more obvious. This is the knitting side, looks so nice, and this is the purl side or the wrong side, looks so like fluffy and having a lot of rounded shapes. So now I'm gonna do a purl row, and as we did before, I'm going from like going with the needle towards me, just like this, and wrap the yarn around my needle and pull it, and continue doing this until you reach the nice length of your scarf. And that's basically it. So easy scarf, and in the same time looks so amazing. So as you can see here, begin to be more fluffy, more soft, and more nice. This is the knitting side, and it looks so beautiful. And as you can see, it has this like braided pattern in it. So I'm gonna continue working the same way, like one knit, one purl, one knit, one purl. I'm talking in rows until I reach the length of the scarf that I really want to have. And of course, you can increase the stitches if you want a wider one. It's just completely up to you. Now I finished my scarf almost. So as you can see, it looks so beautiful. It begin to be more fluffier and more nice. I love it. This is a knitting side, and as you can see, it looks so amazing. And this is the wrong side, and it's normal to have the sides just rolled in a little bit like this, but still looks so good. Okay, I love the scarves to be in this width. Of course, as I told you before, you can increase the stitches if you want it more wider, but I love this width. So let's get to the most important part, which is the closing part. I'm gonna close it with two different techniques I'm gonna show you right now. You can choose whatever you want. As you can see, I have my 12mm needle I'm gonna use, but for closing, I'm gonna close it with 8mm knitting needle, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because using the smaller one will make the closing end kind of a nice and tight, like the beginning part. If you want it more tighter, you can use smaller, but if you use that 12mm hook for what we used before, like making this scarf, the end will be more loose and just wider than the beginning, and I don't like it that much. So that's why I switched to a smaller needle. I'm gonna show you now. As you can see, this is the beginning part, and as you can see, it looks so tight, and it can be like loosen up more than that. So it's really tight, looks so beautiful, but it's really tight, and I need to make the two sides of my scarf just identical. By using the bigger one, the end will be more loose and you will see the difference in a moment. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it, and we'll show you the difference. But with using the smaller one, will make it way like nicer, and you can tell the difference between the beginning and the end, which is the idea of using a smaller needle to close my scarf. So now I'm gonna go and show you how to close the scarf and show you the difference between the two needles, and you can choose whatever you want. Okay, this is the rest of the yarn that I have left to close my work, and first I'm gonna close it with the 12mm hook, 12mm knitting needle. I used to do a lot of crocheting, so that's why I said hook. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna knit like these two stitches, then take this needle, like the lift needle, and go take these two together, and then I'm gonna knit them together just like that. So I have only one stitch left instead of two, and again I'm gonna knit another one from my resting stitches, and now I have two on my right needle. And again, I'm gonna take the left needle and just insert and take them together and knit them together to make them one. And I'm gonna continue that. As you can see, the number of stitches begin to decrease, and in the same time begin to close the scarf from right to left in a really nice way, and makes it look so neat and so nice. I'm gonna continue until I finished all the stitches and lift up with one stitch left. So this is the last one, so I'm gonna take them together, and now this is my last stitch. Of course, I should like fasten off and close my scarf, but because I'm gonna do like with a smaller version or smaller needle, I really wanted to show you because it's a really nice and neat ending, but I don't like it to have to be like more wider than my beginning. So as you can see, looks so wide, going in like in a really wide way, like completely different from the beginning. It's so tight and so cozy in the beginning. Of course, if you like it, do it your way, but as you can see the difference, I just wanted to show you the difference. It's the same technique, but like by changing the size of the needle, we change the complete look of your scarf. Now we're gonna go and make the same technique but with the smaller needle. I'm gonna show you everything also, so you can have like a complete like point of view or complete idea how I do it and how it's gonna look like. And again, I'm gonna take my 8mm hook, 8mm knitting needle, and again I'm gonna make the same technique, knit two, like 1 and 2. So I have my 2 stitches, and now I'm gonna go with my lift needle and take them together to make 1 stitch, just decreasing to 1 stitch, and knit them together And as you can see, just like we did with the larger needle, but we're gonna make it with the smaller needle. It will be a little bit tight when you're doing this, so don't go really far with the bigger needle into the smaller stitches. Just you want to hold it in place until you knit them together. And again, I'm gonna continue doing this until I reach the end of the row, ending up with one stitch, which I will fasten off later on. This is the last stitch and we are done. So as you can see the difference now, right? It's so tight, still looks so beautiful, so neat, but the ending is like at the same side of the scarf. It's so amazing and looks perfectly fine with the beginning. I really love doing this because as you can see, there's almost no difference between the two sides. And if you're not the one who is doing that, anyone who's gonna watch your scarf will never know which will be the ending part on the ending and the beginning of your scarf. So it's really nice. I love this method, and as you can see the difference, really nice, and still looks so beautiful and really neat. And as you can see, the same size. Now I'm gonna add them like side by side so you can see the difference between doing it with the normal needle, which is a 12 needle. It's on the right side, and on the left side is my 8mm needle, and you can see the difference. You choose whatever suits you, but I love doing it, especially with velvet, doing it with a smaller needle. Looks so beautiful and looks so neat. And yeah, this is basically it. I really hope you like this video, and if you try this scarf, please let me know in the comment section down below how it turned out with you. And I love this scarf so much and really hope you like this video. And as usual, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share the video with your friends if you like it. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. These links will be in the description box down below. And don't forget to hit the bell button so you have a notification every time I upload a new video on my channel. And I'm gonna see you soon in my next video. I love you so much. Bye!